Hey guys, I was just watching the YouTube gang a little while ago, and I saw Turbocobra Gary was having an issue with the guns for the adhesive he was going to use to apply his cowl vent with. I'm not sure what the 3M guns look like. I just recently, matter of fact, I think about the same time you got your weld bond adhesive, I got some seam sealer from Andrea and Darren as well, and I also went ahead and purchased a new gun. It's a SIM gun, and it does look like it's a little bit different than the one you were showing. It's 3M, that the one Darren sent you. It looks like the plungers on it are quite a bit smaller than the ones on the gun that you're trying to use, Gary. One of them is a little larger, one of them is a little smaller. If you'll hold on just a second, let me get a tape measure and we'll kind of see what kind of a measurement we've got here. It looks like the smaller one is about 7/8 of an inch. I'm sorry. Yeah, the smaller one's about 7/8 of an inch. And sorry for the shaky cam, guys. It's going to be kind of hard to get to see it with the camera. And it looks like the larger of the two is about an inch in diameter, maybe a little bit more. But on this particular gun, it looks like it's got screws holding the ends of the plungers in place. So I'm not sure if yours is like this or not, Gary, that you could remove it, and I think someone else suggested maybe try and put some smaller washers or something on to push the product through. Plus, on the end of this one, the cartridge actually loads from the side like this. Well, I got to pull the plunger back the rest of the way. There we go. And they're still kind of tight to get in there. I think I got to take this clip out. Hang on just a second. This thing comes with some kind of an adapter clip, and I'm not exactly sure what it does, if it's made for like a smaller tubes of adhesive that fit in here or what. If I can get it out of there, there we go. Well, that thing was in there good. Then the adhesive basically just loads in from the side and sits right in there like that. So I'm not sure if that helps you at all, Gary. I hope you get it figured out, buddy. I'm trying to remember how much this gun was when I ordered it with the seam sealer. I really can't remember. I'd have to look back at my invoice and stuff, but Andrea can get you one from the, I think it's National Oaks has them. I actually borrowed some whenever I got this adhesive and did that quarter panel patch, and borrowed the one from the company that I got the adhesive from. That was back before the YouTube Garage Gang. I joined it. And I think this is probably about the same thing you're using, this weld bond adhesive. It's the what I tried to use on this quarter panel patch. It held really well, but I was concerned with whether or not the metal would expand and contract at the proper rate out in the sunlight and stuff, and then people had told me that you might see a shadow line there. So I've actually gone back and started stitch welding that in place. Of course, the epoxy is still underneath it because I did like a flange weld. So hopefully that helps you out, and if not, if there's anything I can do to help you, or if I can give you some more measurements off of that gun to help you modify yours, PM me or put it in a message in this video below it, and I'll be sure and try and answer you back. I'm still trying to get this finished up. I'm getting pretty close now. I've got the end pivots welded in place here. I still got to do a little bit of cleanup on the welds and do a little bit more wire wheeling and grinding to get some of the slag and stuff off. The pivot's pretty good. I've still got to do a little bit of lubrication on it, but I don't really want to do that until I get everything finished welded up. I've still got to get some handles welded in place in these pockets in order to be able to move it pretty easy. It's right now, like I said, it's still pretty stiff because I've not lubricated anything yet. But up here in the corners, it gets a couple pieces of angle iron, and it just showed one handle on each end. I think I'm going to modify that design a little bit more and put a couple more evenly spaced down the length of it, so instead of having two handles, it'll have four. Then put like a cross rail down the end of them, so that anywhere along the length of it, in the middle or on either end, you could pull up from that position and be able to fold the metal like a standard sheet metal brake is. You can use it on either end or in the center, so I'm going to try to do the same thing with that. I also got to thinking too, whenever I'm trying to lift up on this thing, what's going to keep it from picking up. So I may even add either a 2x10 bolted on top of these from one end to the other so I can stand on it whenever I'm pulling up to bend the metal, so I don't raise the whole brake up off the floor. It's either that or another piece of angle iron stretched from one end to the other, but I'm not sure I've got enough scrap metal left for that. I probably do have lumber for it, and that would work just as well. Just something so that you can stand on here and pull up on this to bend the metal without moving the whole brake. So I'm going to shut the camera off for just a few minutes and go ahead and try and get the last of this fabricated up, and I'll bring you guys back shortly. Hey guys, I finally got this thing about assembled. I was just trying to figure out what gauge metal this is. I don't have a sheet metal thickness gauge. All I've got is this little cheapy digital micrometer. It says it's .050. That's about the thickest thing I've got on hand right now. I've got some like 22 gauge or 28 gauge ductwork material. I'm going to get some more stuff later on, but let me set you up on the tripod here, and we'll go ahead and bend a couple of bends on this. It seems to work pretty good. Of course, it's not as accurate as the commercial brakes and stuff that I've used in the past making ductwork, but for a little home shop, I think it'll do okay. Flip everything around here where you guys can see. It's kind of a pain. I think I'm going to figure out some other way to do the hold down on the top of it, a cam system or something. The instructions came with it. You know, say to use 2 bolts. That's probably okay. If I was going to do a lot of stuff, I would probably put like a T-handle or something on it, but you can't get anything really, really big, because if you do, if you go to fold this up, it'll actually hit. So you don't want to have anything. But I made this fold a few minutes ago, and it's okay. It's not real crisp on the corners, but I owe a lot of that to the fact that the angle iron has got a rounded edge to it. I took and ground a little bit off trying to shape the edge some, but I didn't want to get too carried away and get it out of square, but it does okay. We'll stick this back in here and we'll try it again. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to bend it. It's plenty of leverage. I could have made the handles even longer, but I didn't think I needed to. So we'll try that right there and see how that does. Yeah, I'm going to definitely figure out something different for these handles. For this hold down. I better move that out some, that won't clear. I have to bring it out enough to where when I fold it up it clears the backstop, or else it'll just hang up there. There we go. Make sure you guys can still see. Alright, there we go. I mean, yeah, that's almost no effort at all. Of course, you know, one side always seems to bend just a little further than the other. But I think I can make some pretty good patch panels and stuff with this. I think. Loosen it up a little bit more. Oh, I see. It had some nipples on the edges of it. But, I mean, yeah, this is pretty heavy gauge stuff. I mean, I think I could make some rocker panels or something out of this. I may still see about sharpening the edges on that a little bit more so I can get a little bit sharper bends on the corners. May be able to notch this just a little bit and move this forward some so that it'll go on there easier. But all in all, it's a pretty good project. Also, like I said, I figured out I needed to put something on the bottom of this so that I could hold it down whenever I'm moving this so that the whole brake doesn't move around. This isn't really welded or anything, it's just notched and sitting in here. It's a piece of, I think it was an old mobile home frame or something someone gave me, and I chopped it up. I think this was part of the hitch assembly. It's like probably an 8-inch I-beam. Of course, it's not a real heavy gauge one. It's only, I think, 1/8 inch. So it works pretty good. I made a good tight fit and just notched it to where it set down in here so I didn't have to weld it or use any kind of fasteners or anything. It's just a friction fit. Here's a little piece of ductwork metal I folded a few minutes ago. That was about the only other stuff I had. But yeah, like I said, it done pretty good. Here's if I get back far enough to give you an overall picture or not. I still got to get the casters that lock, but it's got a pretty good amount of mass to it now, so I don't think it'll roll around too much, particularly if you're standing on this I-beam with one foot while you're working the handles. I did just put the 2 handles on it like they suggested for now, and then I may go back later and add maybe a 3rd one in the center and tie them all 3 together. But with me standing here, the handle actually comes out further than where I'm standing, so I didn't want to make it to where you couldn't stand on that edge to hold it in place. But yeah, it's nice and smooth. Almost no effort at all to get it to fold up. I still have to clean up some of the welds. Little grinding, little paint, primer. I just got done welding this thing like, 10 minutes before I turned the camera on. It's still warm even. But I wanted to get a video together to show you guys how it turned out. Overall, I'm pleased with it. It beats trying to fold it over a piece of angle iron on the workbench with a hammer. So I guess I'll turn the camera off and I'll bring you guys back. I've probably got a good day's worth of cleaning to do in here. My shop is just a wreck. I've got grinding dust everywhere off of the grinding wheels where I've cut all this stuff off of my chop saw from cutting all this metal and stuff to length. I mean, this place is just a disaster area. So I think I'm going to take a break from doing any more work on much of anything for a little while until I get this place cleaned up. Well, I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.